So this was about a month and a half ago when I was prepping students for the SAT March attempt. SAT is essentially an aptitude test, which a lot of universities around the world, a lot of our local Pakistani universities also accept. Um, SAT essentially has two sections, math and verbal. Each section is scored out of 800, so a total of 1600 points. So, 2 weeks before the exam, this kid comes up to me and says that, Sir, I'm very bad at math. I'm getting an okay verbal score, a good verbal score. He was getting around 670 in his verbal out of 800, and in math, he was scoring around 530 ish. ठीक है. So he wanted to come up with a strategy to work, practice, improve the score, so on and so forth. So we sat for approximately 2 weeks. He gave the exam, and Alhamdulillah, 2 weeks later, I got the message that he scored around 270. So an improvement from 530 to 670 is a very good improvement in SAT. So essentially, when he gave that message, I reminded him that he came to me as initially saying that he was bad at math. So he said कि yes sir वो आपने मेहनत करी हमने पढ़ा ये वो we studied and with your help and all of that we were able to improve the score. I told him no. Yes, maybe I was a factor. I was a factor in the score, in the improved score, maybe. But at the same time, what's important according to me is the fact that so this right here is a message to the whole world. It's a very important thing that you need to realize. And what you need to realize is that us humans, we are never really bad at anything. Cool. So if we are not bad at anything, why isn't everyone good at everything? It's because you just aren't good at it yet. Now, of course, you cannot dedicate time to everything, right? In life, you have to dedicate time to some limited number of things, and the time you dedicate to that limited number of things, you excel at, so on and so forth. Like let's say, for example, I myself, I'm an engineer. I dedicated time to math, physics, and chemistry during my high school years. I didn't give time to biology and commerce students and accounts and econ. Zahir si baat hai, you can do so much, right? So essentially, you need to dedicate your time towards the thing you think that you can improve in the most. But at the same time, there will be things that you do not want to do, that you think that you are bad at. Like let's say, for example, this kid, he had to give this aptitude test. उसके बगैर उसका university में this kid wouldn't have been able to get into a good university without the SAT score. In life, there will be hundreds of times where you will have to do things that you're not good at. But is it okay to give up? Is it okay to say that, okay, I'm bad at this and okay, forget about it? I'm not going to go ahead with it. If it's worth it, put in some hard work, put in some dedicated time, and then you need a little bit of courage. With these three things, like I said, you just aren't good at doing that. Like this kid right here, before he came to me, he was not good at math. But in those 2 weeks, he put in the work, he dedicated time, and he had the courage to do so. Like, let's say, for example, a lot of kids have stage fright. So, let's say, for example, debate competitions they will not be able to perform as well. But you make the same kid go back, do the debate competition again and again and again. That stage fright will eventually go away. That's exactly what you need to experience. You're bad at something, there can be tons of reasons. But you repeat that something enough times, you dedicate time, enough time, and you work hard towards making sure that you become good at it, you will. There's nothing in this world that this human brain cannot achieve. So let me give you an example. When I was working with Dr. Toor on his project, he was the lead on the stem cell transplant project. And I was working with Dr. Toor. I'm an engineer. I've never studied biology in my life. Never, never, ever. All right. When Dr. Toor introduced me to this project, he was going on all about the lymphatic system and the immunity of the human body, T cells, innate immunity, adaptive immunity, and all of that stuff. T cells, lymphocytes, CD34 positive, cell differentiation, all of that stuff. All right. And at that time, I was really, really confused that I probably didn't have a clue about what he was talking about throughout his explanation. What did I do? Did I give up? If I had given up and said that I don't know biology, I haven't studied biology in the past 8 years, from my O levels to my A levels to my undergrad, all the way till my graduate studies, there were approximately 8 to 9 years. I haven't studied biology. How can I do a project? How can I do research in something that I have not studied yet? Did I do that? Oops, I didn't. Very simple. I went home. I went to the MIT Open Sourceware, if I'm not wrong, that was the name, where MIT essentially posts their courses. There were a lot of Stanford professors who had uploaded their lectures. I studied the human lymphatic system. I studied the human immunity for weeks and weeks and weeks. ये सारी चीज़ें, all of these things I learned. And I learned them so well that I was eventually able to publish a paper on that. Okay? So learn from this. Like I said, humans, we are never bad at anything. We just aren't good at it yet.